Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Richards. We have a historic programme this evening. We'll be looking at Ye Olde Banksy, the medieval graffiti in Lincolnshire's churches, and I'll be talking to Sam Phillips about archaeology in the Wolds. And of course, we'll have all the sport. But first, the news headlines with James Dunn.
Hello, in the headlines today, a new unit in Grimsby will improve mental health care for the elderly, and adrenaline-fuelled fun across the Humber Bridge this weekend. A new facility in Grimsby opens tomorrow, and providers say a non-traditional model will mean a more comfortable environment for elderly people with mental health disorders. The Konar Suite on Grimsby's hospital grounds is run by Navigo, which is contracted to provide mental health services in North East Lincolnshire. The unit provides older people's mental health and memory services, and staff say it will have more staff per patient and uses a new model which creates a more homely environment.
I think being part of Navigo enables us to work in a very different way to traditional models of healthcare. So the way that we work here is all about creating a homely environment and putting the service users at the centre of what we do. We are resourced appropriately to have the right staffing levels. We don't struggle to recruit staff. In fact, we have staff contacting us all the time wanting to work with us, so we don't struggle to recruit. So we're not having those issues that are happening.
Shop owners in Woodall Spa have claimed a touring Lincolnshire festival designed to boost trade has actually had a detrimental effect. East Lindsey District Council organised So Festival to increase footfall in tourist towns such as Woodall Spa and Skegness. Traders in Woodall Spa complained it was actually a distraction for potential customers on Wednesday, and one said it was quieter than a winter's day. But East Lindsey District Council hope the festival will bring people into Skegness this weekend, which would traditionally be a quiet period.
Why we do it is actually to try and bring in more money, more tourism income. Over the last 2 years we've had independent evaluation, and it's about an extra £1.1 million plus into the tourism economy because of this event. And that's not including around £600,000 of additional advertising and profile income of us getting into papers like The Guardian, The Times, Independent, being on Sky Sports for some of the other events we've done last year. So it's hugely important for the economy.
It's a brand new audience, and the people are really receptive to us as well. To all of the traps and the circus ring and everything. It's been lovely, lots of smiles and lots of laughter and happiness. Yeah. Spreading a little bit of happiness.
Have more fun!
Final preparations are underway for various In Bloom committees, making our region look pristine for the judges next week. East Midlands In Bloom will be visiting our region and judging carefully pruned routes in various towns. We spoke to Cleethorpes In Bloom, who are going for gold again as they judged local efforts in preparation for the real thing on Tuesday.
It's about community pride. It's about places where we live, we work, we play. To have community spirit and pride is something fantastic.
As you can see, it's really established this year. We've been establishing the garden for about 5 years now, so we've done quite well in the competitions already.
Firefighters are to join other public sector workers in another strike next Thursday. It's the 15th time they've gone on strike in a dispute over pensions that remains unresolved. East Yorkshire residents are to hold a march against fracking in Beverley Town Centre tomorrow. Protesters are expected to gather outside County Hall at 10:30 a.m. to show East Riding County Council that they don't want the controversial process going on in the county. And finally, teams are putting the finishing touches on their go-karts for the Humber Bridge's Soapbox Derby tomorrow. Local businesses will be competing against each other with their homemade carts in the event organised by Hessle Town Council. It's a chance to showcase the region and its greatest landmark, and also raise money for the Humber Rescue. In the past, it's raised as much as £4,000.
It raises the profile of Hessle, and we've been doing this now for 3 years, and at the same time it means that we can help charities, because that's what it's all about. First year we helped Help for Heroes, second year it was Yorkshire Air Ambulance, this year it's Humber Rescue, which is very apt given the fact that the Humber flooded its banks back in December. And we're able to raise quite an amount of money for that. Plus, it's a source of fun. We've got about 20 teams down there. It's a good day's worth of enjoyment. Everybody comes down and they enjoy it.
Well, it's an occasion that we can all get together and work together as a team, which we do anyway, and also as well we can involve our family and friends in it on the day, and it should be a really good fun day as well, and we're raising money for a very worthy charity as well.
Well, that's all from me. Bye for now.
They might not have had spray cans in the Middle Ages, but they still managed graffiti. These messages from the medieval are preserved in Lincolnshire's churches. Emma Lingard went to read the writing on the wall.
A church is not a place you'd expect to find graffiti, but this group are doing just that as part of a community heritage project to survey Lincolnshire Wolds churches.
Well, the aim of the project is to try and record ancient graffiti in all of the churches in the Lincolnshire diocese, and at the moment we've done about 90 churches have been visited. About half of them have been found to have graffiti, but we haven't done any in the eastern side of Lincolnshire or the northeastern side. So that's what we're doing here today, is working with the Down Your Wolds project to actually get some volunteers, and they are enthusiastic volunteers, as you can see in the background, to actually learn the basics of how to find it, how to record it, and then they can take it back to their local churches and the heritage groups can investigate further.
The graffiti comes in all shapes and sizes, from pentagrams to ward off evil to mason's marks and puzzles.
Well, we're looking for any type of graffiti, whether it's medieval, ancient, post-Reformation, even 20th century. It has meaning to the people who put it there. It's informal art. It's not abusive art, interestingly. We've hardly found any abusive art. It's symbolic in the medieval time. People wanting to worship Christ, they put a little votive cross there, or they will worship the Virgin Mary, circles, symbols, animals. There's all sorts of things that they've drawn. It's nothing like the modern abusive graffiti that you find in our public town centres.
It's hoped to put on further training sessions for anyone interested in uncovering what graffiti may lay hidden in their church, but be prepared not to find anything dramatic.
Yes, we do normally tell people that don't expect to find the unusual. You're not going to very often. The single most unusual thing we've found so far is one example of musical notation inside Lincoln Cathedral. We've also found some ships in about half a dozen places, pilgrim shoes that have been carved into surfaces like benches in maybe half a dozen churches, and certain other animal figures that we've found, and they're quite rare, and human figures are quite rare. But we are now starting to find more.
The first Lincolnshire Wolds Festival of Archaeology takes place this month, run by the heritage project Down Your Wolds. Project Officer Sam Phillips joins me now. Sam, welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Hugh.
Tell me about this. It's almost a month-long festival, isn't it?
It is. It's just over 2 weeks. It's in line with the National Festival of Archaeology. And because the archaeology of the Lincolnshire Wolds is so special, we thought we want to start celebrating it. So this is our first one this year, and we're very excited about it.
Well, we'll go through some of the events. The opening is on the 12th of July. There's an event at Gunby Hall.
That's right, yeah. Gunby Hall and Gardens have kindly said that we can have a launch event with them there. They're going to offer free entry and free tours of the house, and also they've got a deserted medieval village site on their land, so they're offering free talks there. What's really exciting is we're also joined by Adam Daubney, who's the county's Fines Liaison Officer, and he's doing an Antiques Roadshow style event. So if anyone's found any artefacts in the Lincolnshire Wolds, they can bring them along on the 12th. Adam will be there from 12 till 4, and he can identify them, give people more of an idea of what they've picked up.
He's not worried about sort of people turning up with a pile of muddy old nails.
Well, you never know what they could be.
Demanding that this is an Anglo-Saxon hoard of gold or anything like that.
Adam really knows his stuff, so he'll be able to tell what's real and what isn't.
There are all sorts of events going on before the end, but if just tell us about the final event, the treasure cache.
Yes, we're launching our Summer of Geocaching on Sunday the 27th of July as the finale of the festival. Geocaching is where lots of hidden containers have been dotted around, and people have to use their smartphone, download an app that's got a GPS signal that will track them to the caches. And we've had a group of volunteers working really hard to get some heritage-related geocaches hidden around the Wolds. So inside all our geocache box there's going to be a little heritage card that'll tell you a bit more about the landscape, and it's also going to have a kids activity on as well. So we're hoping it'll be a great way to get families out and about exploring the Wolds this summer.
Not all the archaeology in the Wolds is medieval necessarily. We've had rather a medieval theme tonight, but
yes.
There's some more modern works as well. There's some iron mines that you'll be having a look at.
Yes, we're really excited. We've got a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at the Nettleton iron mines. We class that more as modern archaeology, so it's industrial archaeology that we're looking at there. The mines started in about the 1920s and actually only finished in the late 60s, but they're already starting to fall into ruin. So we've got a behind-the-scenes look at some of the mine areas that aren't usually on public view. So really looking forward to that. That's led by Stuart Squires, who is from the Society of Lincolnshire History and Archaeology. So
that's an unexpected industry there. You don't think of Lincolnshire as having an iron mining industry.
I know, not at all. And it's Nettleton's such a beautiful area. It's so peaceful, and when you think back to how busy it would have been, how many workers would have lived in the village, it's quite remarkable to think of how it's changed over the years.
Throughout, Caister is going to be opening its doors as well, isn't
yes,
it?
Caister Arts and Heritage Centre have been a fantastic support for the Lincolnshire Wolds Festival of Archaeology. We're actually working with Bishop Grot and the centre to bring a 3-day dig, so people can drop in from Wednesday the 16th to Friday the 18th, come and meet the archaeologists that are taking part in the dig and maybe even have a go. So they need to go to the Caister Arts and Heritage Centre first, and then they'll be directed to the dig site.
Wonderful. Just tell us about this Down Your Wold, the project. Who's behind it? Where did the idea come from?
Well, it's a partnership cooperation between the Lincolnshire Wolds Countryside Service and Heritage Lincolnshire. They, part of the reason that the Wolds was designated an area of outstanding natural beauty was because of the interesting architecture and Wolds, archaeology,
yep,
and the cultural heritage that we've got. So they really wanted to start getting people interested.
I think you should. Sorry to close it there, but I think you should give us the internet address if people want to get involved.
www.down-your-wold.co.uk.
Sam, many thanks for coming in. That's what we have time for.
Thank you.
Dan Kemp is now slipping into the studio discreetly to deliver all the news of the local sports.
Thank you, Hugh. We'll start with football, and Hull City's summer spending spree looks set to continue if reports in the national press are correct. Following the acquisition of Jake Livermore and Robert Snodgrass, suggestions are that Tottenham defender Michael Dawson and former Blackpool man Tom Ince are set to join the club. Grimsby Town began their pre-season training this week. Manager Paul Hurst had the squad going through their paces ahead of the first friendly against Cleethorpes Town at Bradley Community Stadium on Wednesday. I went down to their Cheapside training ground to see how some of their new recruits are settling in.
Obviously the club's ambition matches my own, and obviously going for promotion this year. Obviously it's something I want to be a part of, and I think with the squad we've got here, the club, the foundation, it's going in the right direction.
We had a little look around. The pitch looks really good. The training facilities are here, really nice. The pitches are nice, slick, and the weather's good, and there's a little gym, so it's perfect for me.
Hull KR hosts St Helens in the next round of Super League. It kicks off at 3 p.m. at the KC Lightstream Stadium on Sunday. Off the field, the Robins fullback Greg Eden has been linked with a move to the NRL's Brisbane Broncos. Rivals Hull FC host Warrington at the KC tonight. After a disastrous 67 points to 22 defeat at the Newcastle Diamonds last weekend, Scunthorpe Scorpions are hoping to fare better at home to Sheffield tonight. However, they'll be without informed Thomas Jorgensen, who has picked up a wrist injury. That's all for the sport. Back to you, Hugh.
Thanks very much, Dan. That's all we have time for tonight. If you have a story for us, please email news@estuary.tv or contact us via our Twitter or Facebook pages, or pick up the phone and call 01472 315561. Until next time, goodbye.